Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and yes, I'm back. It's been a while, but I am happy to report that not only am I back, but I'm here with something pretty cool, which is the HTC Incredible. Now, I have been using the Motorola Droid since its launch. Great phone, still highly recommend it. However, as many of you may know, today the HTC Incredible is going to be for sale in Verizon stores for $200 after a $100 mail-in rebate. I went ahead and pre-ordered the phone and was able to get the phone a day early, which has given me some time to play with it and give you guys some impressions. And so far, I'm pretty happy with it, and I don't think I'll be going back to the Droid. I may miss that QWERTY keyboard a little bit, but HTC's integration on the predictive typing and auto correction is really so good, as well as their keyboard layout is really good. So I don't really think I'm going to regret missing that physical keyboard, especially in exchange for what we get. Now, again, when I brought up the Droid does have that really solid physical construction. Some people hate the design, some people love it, but more importantly, no one could deny really solidly built. This phone, not so much. You're going to hear a lot of people say it's all plastic, and you know what, it is. But it does lend to being a much lighter handset than what we see in the Droid. So that's definitely an advantage, and I can see it being far more pocket friendly. But let's get off of the plastic build and just look at the design right now before I get into specs and whatnot. As you can see, 3.7-inch capacitive AMOLED screen, which I've been waiting for a long time. Really, really outstanding quality on that screen, as you can see. Just give you a little preview there before we get into the actual screen. Really nice. Really blows away all LCD technology, in my opinion, and I think you will agree too once you get it in your hands. Then you have capacitive buttons at the bottom, like you see on many Android phones. The search, back, menu, and home button. New addition that HTC's been integrating is this optical trackpad, mouse pad. Works pretty well, allows you to select things instead of using the touchscreen. I think it's really most important for web pages where you can't really necessarily get to click, or it's hard to navigate to a certain portion. So that's where this optical trackpad really comes into play. Top of the phone you have your red speaker, as you can see, and bottom of the phone there is a mic. It's also, as you can see, the area where you snap apart the back to get access to the battery door. There's nothing on the right side of this handset, as you can see. At the top you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as your power and backlight on and off button, lock screen button I should say. Backside, your 8-megapixel camera with dual LED flash, the speakerphone. Again, you can see this minimalist design, which I think really just, as I said, lends to eliminating clutter, stuff you don't need, plastic that doesn't need to be there. And again, one thing I really like about this minimalist design is that when I'm using the phone, I can now actually grip it. The Imagio, which had a really similar form factor to this, also made by HTC, had this same smooth textured plastic back. However, it didn't have these ridges, this race car design. But I think that the race car design is really about making the phone more tactile in your hand and easier to grip, because it really has done that for me. When taking pictures, for example, if your index finger is right here where the speakerphone is, and this is the flash button essentially, the shutter button, the optical mouse, that's what it acts as, you will be gripping the phone in the ridges that they've left there. So it's kind of interesting. You can look at it a lot of different ways. Haven't really heard anybody with that take on it, so I'm offering it up. But so far, really impressed with the phone. The 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor really shines on this cell. It just is so much faster than anything you're going to see out there. HTC's Sense UI really sets it apart from the rest, from the clock and weather integration right out of the box to just having a much more polished interface, so that you can get to things in far less clicks or touches, I should say, since this is a capacitive touchscreen device, than even the stock Android Droid to my right. The Droid out of the box was a device that you knew you were going to have to get all sorts of apps in order to make it run. That's not what you're going to experience with the Incredible. And looking at them side by side, I think you can immediately just see the OLED, you know, at work here. It's just a brighter, more saturated screen. A lot of people have been talking about it not doing as well in daylight, but if you have the brightness cranked up on either of these, you'll do fine in bright daylight. I think the only way you don't do fine is if you go out with either of them and you don't have the brightness cranked up. At least that's what I've experienced. If you check here, you know, just to give you a small, brief, you know, look at, let's say, the browser, I don't find that it's, you know, much faster. You can see the scrolling touchscreen is definitely far superior to anything I've picked up. It's much better than the Droid, the Moto Droid. But if I refresh Engadget here, you'll just get a quick preview of how quickly it loads the page. I'll take you into landscape so you can see how quickly that renders. And you can see the Snapdragon allows you to immediately just start scrolling. You know, haven't loaded beyond this, but not something I'd really see out of the Droid. You could start scrolling immediately, but not quite that quickly. And that's part of the processing power you're getting here. You know, the pinch to zoom, not that I'm a big fan, clearly is working. Nice thing about the pinch to zoom is it does reformat text. On the Droid it did not. So if I pinch to zoom here on the Droid, that would not reformat. But here, as you can see, it did. So that is a nice feature as well. But all in all, just wanted to give you guys a quick look at this phone. I'll be bringing you more information on it. I, right now, can definitely say it is really impressive, and I don't see myself moving back to the Motorola. But again, just to go over the specs, it packs GPS, Bluetooth, as most smartphones do, a 3.7-inch OLED screen, an FM radio, which I don't really see the need for if you have data, which again, you will need a data plan, $30 a month, don't forget that. It does pack that Qualcomm Snapdragon 1 GHz processor, which, you know, if you're looking at iPads and things like that, do think comparable performance, because it is comparable. For all those people that say it's not, it is. It's got 512 megs of onboard RAM, comes with 8 gigs of internal storage. Of course, some of that will be occupied by the Sense UI, but trust me, it's worth having it unless you absolutely hate it, which please let me know if you do and why, because I'll be interested to know. And beyond that, of course, up to 32 gigs, you know, can be installed in the micro SD slot, which is just a win-win. I stuck my 16 gig in there from the Droid. They do include a 2 gig, but that's kind of a joke, but I think they did it simply because Verizon knows that for functionality, you sort of do need a micro SD card in any of these Android devices. At any rate, hope this helps you guys out. Just wanted to give you a quick look, even though this ended up running over 8 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gives you an idea of what to see, or rather what to expect, not see. And again, you know, just showing you the speed as I end the video. There's a little, you know, email application which you can swipe through your emails without having to actually go into an app, you know, beyond having the push Gmail. And again, everybody's done this to show you guys the speed of this device, which is just, it's mind-numbing, because it makes everything else look like it's from another generation, and quite frankly, it's because they are. At any rate, great phone. Only drawback and final note, even though it sounds like I've said this before, battery life is terrible. Charged this thing up fully at 5 p.m. It was dead by 11 with light call use and moderate data use. So be ready to buy extra batteries. Good news is extra batteries are not expensive. Okay, kiddies, hope you had fun. I did this at a late hour for you guys because it was the only convenient time I could get it in. And hope this helps you all out and you enjoyed the video. Any questions or comments, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Later.